We are live. Welcome to the sports show, everybody. I'm your host, Kyle Phelps, and we are going through the NFL Week 12 previews for this week. Or is it Week 11? It's Week 11, because I know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. But Anyway, we got a whole slate of NFL football coming up, and this is where I think the playoff picture really kind of starts to take shape. So you've got some teams whose season is on life support, and I don't know who I could possibly be talking about, but that team that I definitely may or may not be talking about may or may not be having Joe Burrow come back soon. So that was a great little piece to that was enjoyable. But we'll talk about that obviously in a little bit. Thursday night football, we got the New York Jets. The Jets. They beat the Bengals, so I guess I can't talk too much trash, right? But like the fucking New York Jets are going up against possibly the best team in the NFL right now in the New England Patriots. At least over the last few weeks. And it's going to be in New England. This feels like a bloodbath waiting to happen. Obviously, I don't make predictions until Hoodie versus Houdat tomorrow night, but the Jets have just had an absolutely awful season to forget so far this year. Losing 7 straight games, and now they've won their last 2, to be fair. But one of those was against the Bengals and just a defense that has just come, like the bottom has completely fallen out. And then they went against the Browns, and they're the Browns. So like I don't think anybody's getting super excited about beating the Browns. Ramondre Stevenson is going to be out this week, but that might be a good thing because Henderson, the other running back for New England, actually appears to be like a really, really good player, and Stevenson has not been anywhere near that productive, much to my chagrin because I predicted him to have a big season this year, but I'm sure Patriots fans aren't too upset about that. You can ask, I think, you can ask Richard all about that because he, I'm sure, is very much loving what he's seeing out of the Patriots this year. But yes, Patriots, Jets on Thursday Night Football, and that's going to be, it might be, I don't know, it's a division game. It could be somewhat competitive. I don't know. We'll see if it's any good. Can't be any worse than that one from a couple weeks ago, though. Next up, you got the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers going to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. Now, this one could be a standoff between 2 AFC teams that are potentially going to be fighting for playoff positioning. Obviously, the Chargers having the inside track while the Jaguars are a little bit back at 5-4. But the Jaguars have also had their bye week, and the Chargers have not. The Chargers have already played 10 games, so maybe the Jaguars can catch up a little bit if they win one of their games and the Chargers lose. But that would be this would be a great place to start because if the Jaguars win, then they're 6-4, and the Chargers fall to 7-4, and then the Jaguars have an opportunity to catch back up on the bye week. So we'll see what happens with that. But this one could be a really, really, really fun game to watch. I'm telling you, because like Justin Herbert going up against this Jaguars team that just doesn't seem to go away no matter what happens. Personally, I hope Jacksonville wipes the floor with them because I'm a petty son of a bitch. But, you know, you never really know. Travis Etienne's been having a really good season so far this year, but so is Justin Herbert. So it's this one could almost be a kind of a coin flip. But it is in Jacksonville. That is something to pay attention to. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders going up against the Dolphins in a game that I don't know if anybody wants to watch. I don't know if you want to watch, but I personally would rather claw my eyes out with rusty nails. But I don't know. I guess somebody's going to have to watch this game. Like I'm guessing probably like 65% of Dolphins fans are going to watch this game in some capacity. I don't know how many are going to watch till the end. But if you're a Dolphins fan, you probably at least like turn the TV on at some point, right? Like, I mean, it's a lost season pretty much for both of these teams at this point. Yeah, I mean, obviously they could magically turn it around. You never know, but I don't really think anybody expects either of these two teams to have the firepower on either side of the ball to get that done. So it's going to be Tua Tagovailoa trying to get something done against this Washington defense that hasn't exactly really been lighting it up this year, but it's the Dolphins, you know. I don't know, man. What do you think's going to happen? Because I think this one is going to be a bit of a snooze fest. And when I say a bit of a snooze fest, I mean a massive snooze fest. Thank God it's not on prime time. Although it is in Barcelona, so I don't know why we keep shipping off our worst games to Europe. But maybe it's just out of spite. I don't know. Maybe the NFL just hates Europe, which is possible because, you know, they had a good league going back in, like, you know, the 90s in NFL Europe, and they just killed that for literally no reason. Next up, you got the Carolina Panthers, one of the single most inconsistent football team I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've been a Bengals fan my whole life, by the way. But the Carolina Panthers are a special kind of stupid this year. I don't even know how to really wrap my head around how insane this Carolina Panthers football team is, right? Like, 1 week you turn around and they're beating the frickin' Bills. Or, well, no, they're not beating the Bills. They didn't beat the Bills. They beat the Packers after losing 40-9 to the Bills. And then they turn around the following week and they lose to the fucking Saints. Like they lost 42-13 to the Patriots. But the week prior to that, they beat the Falcons 30-0. 30-0. The shutout. An NFL team scored 0 points in a football game. Like, it happens sometimes. Not that often. The Carolina Panthers pulled that off, and they're still 5-5. And the perfect record for a team that makes no sense, by the way. Exactly 500. It's such a shame that we have 17 NFL games instead of 16 because they will not finish exactly 500, which is what they deserve this year. But they get another shot at the Atlanta Falcons, who they smoked, as I said, 30-0 last time they played them. So we'll see what happens in this one, but in the last one, Carolina, from pretty much the jump, was in charge of this whole thing. You know, Bijan Robinson, 72 rushing yards. Actually, not as many as Chuba Hubbard on that note. But that's kind of what I'm saying. You know, Bryce Young did not have as good of a day as Michael Penix, and yet they still shut him out. Chuba Hubbard, one single more rushing yard than Bijan Robinson, and they still shut him out. 30-0. Drake London had more receiving yards than McMillan, the top receiver for the Panthers, and they still shut him out 30-0. Like it's what the Panthers did to the Falcons the last time these two teams played should be illegal. But obviously it's the Falcons, so maybe it shouldn't be. I don't know. But it'd be surprising to see the Panthers lose this game, but it wouldn't be that surprising because it's the Panthers. So we'll see. I feel like I say that after every game. Like, we'll see what happens. Obviously, we'll see what happens. But the Carolina Panthers are an enigma. Let's just put it that way. Speaking of enigmas, you've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Buffalo Bills, and both of these teams are also teams that don't make that much sense to me. Now, they're not as, like, erratic as the Carolina Panthers. They're definitely much more talented than the Carolina Panthers, both of them. But both of these teams are teams that I just, like, most of the time I'm like, this looks like a pretty good team, and then other times, like, what the hell are you doing, right? Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the only games they've lost this year, to be fair, are to the Philadelphia Eagles, which are the defending Super Bowl champions and look pretty damn good this year. The Detroit Lions, and that was they got wrecked by the Lions. Don't get me wrong, but the Detroit Lions are also, I think we can all agree, one of the better teams in the NFL this year. And then the New England Patriots last week, who they lost to, and it was a close game, but I just said a few minutes ago that the New England Patriots might be the best team in football right now. I don't know if everybody's saying that, but I think they do have, like, the undisputed best record right now. I don't know. I think they're 8-2. I don't think anybody else is 8-2 right now. If I'm looking through, maybe the Colts are. Are the Colts 8-2? I don't know. They're on bye, so nobody cares. Just like the Saints, nobody cares about the Saints either. The Colts are 8-2. Okay, so the Colts and the Patriots are tied for the best record in the NFL. But with the way the Colts have been kind of not so inspiring lately, I think I would argue that the Patriots maybe should be considered for the best team in the NFL. And that's who the Buccaneers lost to last week, right? So it's not like they haven't been losing to anybody who's not like really worth their salt, right? Whereas the Bills just got smoked by the Dolphins. Like, do I need to say anything more than that? The Bills just got smoked by the Dolphins. How do you let that happen? Like, especially if you're the Buffalo Bills, who've got aspirations to be like a Super Bowl contender this year, and they want people to take them serious, and then you lose to the fucking Dolphins. Not just lose, but you lose 30-13. Like, good Lord, I don't even know. But either way, it was one game, and this should be one of the more fun games in the NFL, between an AFC and an NFC team that won't really be competing with each other for the playoffs, but need to beat the other team to stay, like, on the hunt for, like, the number one seed, which who knows if either of these teams are going to get it, but to stay in the hunt, they probably got to win this game, right? Moving on, you got the Houston Texans going to Tennessee to play the Titans. The Texans looking a lot better lately, right? I mean, not perfect, but the Texans got off to a really rough start this year, right? Like, they started 0-3, won a couple of games. Another team that got a shutout this year against the Tennessee Titans last time they played them, right? But yeah, they started 0-3, got a couple of wins in there, and then loss. They're coming off a win over the Jaguars, which is a tough team. But this Texans team has been playing better lately. You got to give them credit. They've won 2 of their last 3, and they've been pretty impressive wins with the Jaguars and the 49ers. Going up against the Titans, who are, I don't know if you guys know this, but they are the Tennessee Titans. The team that is the Tennessee Titans, they are indeed the Tennessee Titans, which means they're fucked, honestly. Like, they're just completely, like, they beat the Cardinals earlier this year, and that's pretty much about it. And that was by 1 point, by the way. They've had a few games where it looked like maybe they were going to be competitive at some point, but I think we can all decisively say that it feels like the Titans maybe should even be 0-9 right now. That's how bad they are. Cam Ward said we ass, and he was prophetic in his statement. The Titans are ass. The Texans aren't world beaters, but they're not the Titans, so the Texans shouldn't have too much trouble in this one. But it is in Tennessee, and it is a division game, so you never know. Next up, you got the Chicago Bears, the upstart Chicago Bears that look like another team that is probably one of the best teams in football lately. And I don't just say that because they obliterated us the other day, and I want to feel better about the fact that we lost. I'm saying that because they're 6-3 and they're only 1 game away from having the best record in the, or being tied for the best record in the NFL, right? Going up against the Minnesota Vikings, who are kind of ass, like not like super ass, but kind of ass, right? Like, they beat the Detroit Lions a couple of weeks ago, but other than that game, it's been a rough go for the Vikings over the last like 4 weeks, right? Like, I mean, they just lost to the Ravens, who have been kind of up and down this year and maybe on their way back up, but I don't know. They got destroyed by the Chargers before they lost to the Lions, and they lost to the Eagles, and, a pretty rough game for them. They did beat the Browns, but they lost to the Steelers in a game where it looked like they were almost going to come back, but not really so much. They obliterated the Bengals, but that was the Jake Browning Bengals, and the only reason they did that is because Jake Browning turned the ball over 6 trillion fucking times, and I think he's still, to this day, turning the ball over to the Vikings in Paycor Stadium. Like, we told him to stop, and he wouldn't fucking stop, and we even benched him for Joe Flacco, and he's still turning, like, he's still Isaiah Rodgers, he's calling him up like, hey, I want to throw the ball around at Paycor Stadium. He's just throwing the ball to him, and Isaiah Rodgers is out there still scoring touchdowns to this day. I'm pretty sure when I'm like 80 and retired from YouTube, he's still going to be doing it. It was crazy. It's like he apologized for beating them like in his first game starting in the NFL. I don't know. Before that, they lost 22-6 to the Falcons. So, and before that, they beat the Bears in a really, really close game before the Bears turned into what the Bears are now. So, this Vikings team is kind of up shit creek. I expect the Bears to come back and you're going to look nothing like Week 1. Let's just say that. Next up, you got the Green Bay Packers going up the newly liberated New York Giants. I mean, like, I didn't ever think Brian Daboll was the problem with the New York Giants personally. Like, maybe he wasn't getting it done, and maybe the system was broken, and you got to start over and do something new and do what you do. And I guess I get that, but man, the Giants are just the Giant. Other than like having a bit of a bright future in Jackson Dart and potentially Cam Scatterbo, what's even to be excited about the Giants? The Giants are dead. They're 2-8. They've looked nothing like, and maybe that's why Brian Daboll got fired, because like they didn't at all live up to any sort of potential of what they could have maybe been. But I don't know. They're going up against the Packers though, and the Packers have been kind of suspect looking lately, right? They lost 10-7 to the Eagles. Week before they lost 16-13 to the Panthers, who are a very strange version of the Panthers, by the way. They did beat the Steelers, but they struggled with the Cardinals. They kind of struggled with the Bengals, if y'all remember that correctly. Like, Joe Flacco kind of came weirdly close to beating the Packers twice in that game. And then before that, it was a 40-40 tie to the Cowboys. So it's like, and then before that, they lost to the Browns. So, like, other than like a really strong start to the season for the Packers, this has not been a team that really looks particularly formidable. And they've paid the price. They're now third in their division behind both the Lions and the Bears. It's possible the Packers, despite trading like the farm for Micah Parsons, could miss the playoffs this year. That's nuts. Like that's absolutely wild to me. All right, and then moving on, we got the Seattle Seahawks, another team that looks like potentially the best team in football, going up against another team that potentially looks like the best in football. This is going to be a really good game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. It's a marquee divisional matchup between two high-end teams in the NFL. You got the upstart Seahawks, so I don't think anybody expected them to look as good as they've looked this year, but Sam Darnold has been playing really well. And I don't know if I'm going to go a week this year without bragging about the fact that I told everybody Sam Darnold was going to be good for the Seahawks this year. But you know what? I've said it enough times, so I'm going to leave it at I mentioned it, got it out of the way. The Rams, on the other hand, Matt Stafford is still Matt Stafford. He's still out there balling. They're coming off of a drubbing of the 49ers, and then prior to that, a drubbing of the Saints. And prior to that, a drubbing of they're just kicking everybody's asses lately. The last close game they played was the Ravens, and even then, that wasn't even really that close of a game. It's just the Rams' offense kept not scoring, right? But, it didn't really feel like that close of a game if you watched that game. Now, that was without Lamar Jackson, but point being, you could maybe even argue the last close game the Rams played was their 26-23 loss to the 49ers like 5 weeks ago, right? This matchup is going to be notable because Cooper Kupp is going to be coming back to play the Rams for the first time. And that could be a really fun matchup, but it's also notable because Cooper Kupp's like hometown is in Washington. I think Yakima is like my supervisor, if that's the way you want to call it, but at my day job is from Yakima, and she's always talking about Cooper Kupp, and she even said how she was rooting against the Bengals in that Super Bowl because of Cooper Kupp, and I'm like, well, you know what? It's been many years since then. I didn't know you at the time. That's all I'm going to say. Um, Mikey says Darnold's better than Milroe. Yeah. I mean, like, good lord, I think I'm clipping like fuck. Is that better? Am I still clipping? I don't think so. I'm not clipping anymore. Cool. Darnold's better than Milroe. Oh god, I am still clipping. I'm just gonna have to turn that down in general. Technical difficulty. Sorry, just trying to make sure. There we go. That's better. I think it's still getting up there a little bit, but not too badly. Yeah, Mikey. I mean, I know. Like, I was just talking about how, like, I was right about Sam Darnold. Well, you were right about Jalen Milroe. I mean, like, I don't think I think I was joking, but I don't think I necessarily expected Jalen Milroe to be like great or anything like that. But I was definitely wrong. That I mean, he looks awful. Like, he looks absolutely awful every time we see him. But I mean, maybe he just needs some development time. I don't know. So the Giants are starting Jameis on Sunday. That's, whew. Yeah, going back to that. That's rough. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Now, the 49ers, obviously their entire roster is injured, so we don't really know exactly what we get out of them pretty much week to week. They just got absolutely waxed by the Rams. I just talked about that. They lost to the Texans a couple of weeks ago. They beat the Giants pretty decisively, but the Giants kind of suck, right? They beat the Falcons pretty decisively, but the Falcons kind of suck. And they lost to the Buccaneers. Now, notably, the Cardinals kind of suck. So this kind of feels like the type of team that the 49ers would win, right? Don't know if Purdy is necessarily going to be playing in this game, but I'm not entirely sure it matters because the Cardinals kind of suck. You know, they beat the Cowboys like 2 weeks ago, but other than that, they haven't won a game since week 2. That was against the inconsistent Panthers, and prior to that, they barely beat the Saints, which is not anything to be proud of. So, it feels like a game that the 49ers should win, but it's a divisional game, and you never know with the Panthers. They did almost beat the Packers, so they can hang their hats on almost beating the Packers. Not really, but you never know. Got the Ravens. Speaking of divisional games, that could be tough despite the matchup not being all that interesting. Got the Ravens and the Browns. Now, personally, I would love for the Browns to stick it to the Ravens and beat them this week because, you know, maybe I'm delusional, but I still have this hope, this false hope against hope that the Bengals are going to, you know, fix their season because, I mean, we're only 3-6. Technically, if we win all the rest of our games, we're going to be looking pretty good, you know. If we lose one more game, we're looking pretty good, right? Joe Burrow comes back soon, you never know. Maybe Joe Burrow can play defense. I mean, it's not impossible. You know, I'm just saying that could happen. So, if the Ravens lose, it makes our lives a little bit easier. And if we beat the Steelers, then we're right back, you know, on the same playing field with the Ravens, right? Am I coping like crazy? Yes, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, these things are not completely outside of the realm of the physical realm of possibility. Like multiverse theory exists and everything like that. So I'm just saying it could happen. Unlikely, but you know, the Browns are woo. They beat the shit out of the Dolphins a few weeks ago, but despite the fact that the Dolphins just beat the shit out of the Bills, I don't think anybody thinks that the Dolphins are an impressive team to beat. Other than that, they just recently lost to the fucking Jets of all teams. They got beaten pretty badly by the Patriots. Got beaten pretty badly by the Steelers. They lost to the Vikings. They got beaten pretty badly by the Lions. I mean, like, they did beat the Packers. So, I mean, you never know. But it's you know, they got Dylan Gabriel in there now, and he's okay, but not that great. Quishon Judkins has been a bit of a bright spot for them this year, but you know, nothing that really makes me think that they're going to beat the Ravens, who seem to be really motivated now that Lamar Jackson's back. I really hope they do, but I just don't see it happening. Then you got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Denver to play the Broncos. Now this one is going to be interesting, right? This one's got a lot of potential for being a fascinating game to watch, right? because you've got the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been struggling so far this season, but lately it looks like they're kind of on the upswing. You know, looks like the Chiefs are kind of coming back, and the whole NFL is not happy about that. The Broncos have not looked like a very good football team overall for really most of this season. Like they barely beat the Jets, they barely beat the Giants, they beat the shit out of the Cowboys, but they barely beat the Texans, right? They barely beat the Raiders. And yet they did win all those games. So they're 8-2. Mikey mentioned in the chat earlier, they are 8-2. Like, they're winning games. Like, at the end of the day, you know how much I would love if the Bengals barely beat all the teams that were on their schedule, as opposed to being 3-6 right now. Like, you got to give credit to the Broncos for staying on top of their schedule and beating the teams that are in front of them. You know, like, winning by 1 point doesn't matter. They got the job done. Winning in the ugliest fashion imaginable against the Giants doesn't matter. They got the job done. And that shows grit and determination, and shows that, you know, Sean Payton might be a pretty decent, okay-ish coach after all. Even though a lot of Broncos fans have a lot of bad things to say about him too. Just saying. Who dey, stranger? All right. But obviously, the Broncos looking like they're ready to run away with the AFC West, but the Chiefs could be knocking on their door if they win this game. So the Broncos can win it, they'll hold the Chiefs off, and maybe something funny will happen. If not, obviously the Broncos won't lose control of the AFC West just yet, but they with the way they've been playing lately and the way the Chiefs have been playing lately, it really kind of feels like if they don't win this game, then they're gonna, like, it's just inevitable. The Chiefs are gonna come back on. So we will, I guess, ultimately see that. Next up, we got the Detroit Lions going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles, which could when in possibly one of the best primetime matchups that you're going to see all season. The Detroit Lions are possibly going to run away with the NFC North. Not that the Bears couldn't win it, of course, because obviously they have, you know, was it the same record or very similar record? Bears are also 6-3. So, like, the Lions are in the first place by like a tiebreaker right now. But it really kind of feels like the Lions are the better team out of those two teams. So the Lions feel like the easy favorite to win the NFC North at this point. Whereas the Philadelphia Eagles are the only team in their division. There are no other teams in the NFC East. We thought maybe the Cowboys existed, but I don't know about you. I don't think the Cowboys do. They're 3-5. They ain't doing anything this year. Like, I mean, technically, if the Bengals still have a shot, then technically the Cowboys still have a shot, right? But the Cowboys are 3-5-1 at this point. The Eagles would have to have a all-time collapse to lose control of their division. So they don't need this win as badly as the Lions do to stay relevant, but it could matter when it comes to seeding in the playoffs. And so the Eagles obviously really desperately want to win this game so that they continue their momentum and stay on track. And don't burn down their entire city like they do every time they win something. But this time it would be out of anger, not out of being on purpose, right? The Monday Night Football game, you've got the Dallas Cowboys going to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. I was just talking about how good of a primetime game we're getting with the Sunday Night Football game. And then we turn around, we're getting Cowboys Raiders for Monday night. Like, good fucking Lord. Man, like, maybe Dak can, like, cook up some magic against the Raiders. Obviously, it's the Raiders. He probably wouldn't necessarily need to, but it's just like, man, the Cowboys have just been floundering all year. And, like, whether or not the Packers end up doing anything with Micah Parsons doesn't change the fact that getting rid of Micah Parsons was clearly a gigantic misstep by the Cowboys. Like, that did not help at all. So this Monday Night Football game is going to be interesting to see. Like, for the Raiders, like, the season's over. I don't think they ever really thought this season was going to be much of anything anyway. So the Raiders could be good. They could be bad. I don't entirely think they care all that much. But this game almost kind of matters for the Cowboys because it's just like, who are you? Like, are you a team that matters, whether you make the playoffs this year or not? Or are you just going to sink back into oblivion and just go into complete rebuild mode at this point? We will see, but it's not. If you can't beat the Raiders, it's not looking good. All right, so obviously the Peace Day Resistance, or is it Lay Resistance? I don't know. Doesn't matter because it's the fucking Bengals, and nobody really actually cares about the Bengals except for me and Stranger, who came in and said hoodie earlier. So obviously, I'm not the only one who cares about the Bengals. But most people do not care about the Bengals because the Bengals are bad, and nobody really cares about bad football teams. And the Bengals actually have a Super Bowl caliber offense. Like, on any other team, this offense would have the team in playoff contention. Well, in serious playoff contention, and it wouldn't be basically like, okay, well, we need a miracle to make the playoffs. It's still possible, but we need to get going like now, otherwise we're fucked, right? In week 11, by the way, like, you know, if we lose this game to the Steelers, then it's not looking great. And in the same token, this game could be pivotal for the Steelers as well. Now, the Bengals beat them last time we played each other, and that was on Thursday Night Football. We did Who Day versus Who Dat. It was one of my favorite nights of football that I've done on this channel in general. I mean, like, obviously the 21 playoff run was really fun, but I think that Bengals Steelers game a couple weeks ago was really great for me. I did not know we were going to lose to the Jets and Bears afterwards. That didn't help at all. But at the time, I was like, ooh, season's back on. And now it's just kind of like, season's back on, life support. So, I don't know. But Bengals win. Then the Bengals are 4-6. And there's that little chance, right? Because if the Bengals win, they're 4-6, and the Steelers drop to 5-5. And then you've got the Ravens, whatever the Ravens are doing, but the Bengals still play them twice. So there's a realistic possibility, which is insane in the AFC North. When's the last time the AFC North was ever this bad, right? But there's a realistic possibility that the Bengals could theoretically win the AFC North at 8-9. I'm not making that up. Like, that might actually be more realistic than making the playoffs as a wild card, right? Because to make the playoffs as a wild card, the Bengals would probably have to win all but one of the rest of their games, and still they might not make it to that point at 10-7. Now, if they win all the rest of their games at 11-6, it'd be pretty crazy if they miss the playoffs at that point. But to win all the rest of their games, they need to have a defense, and they don't have a defense. Like, they employ like on their like business roster, they employ real human beings. I don't know if you guys knew this. They like real, genuine human beings who are paid to play football. Who are on the Cincinnati Bengals defensive side of the ball. You can't fucking tell, but that really is there, you know? Like, I mean, I think I might be more effective at playing defense than some of these guys, because, like, I at the very least would go out there and immediately die and the game would be over, right? Like, I would cease, I would be murdered on the field, and I would die, and they would stop the game just like they did with DeMar Hamlin, right? And I wouldn't come back to life and become comeback player of the year, but I would die, and then the Bengals would at the very least tie the football game. That's better than what the Bengals defense has been doing lately. Instead, what they've been doing lately is they have been letting the Chicago Bears score 47 points, despite the Bengals offense scoring 42 points. If you score over 40 points, you should win the fucking ball, man. I'm just saying. Letting the New York Jets score 39 points, despite having that game wrapped up. Letting the Pittsburgh Steelers, like, really not so good offense, score 31 points. And the Bengals beat them, but it was not, it was not it was a really fun. I enjoyed that win. I enjoyed that game, but it was not encouraging to watch the defense play that badly, which sucks, man. Because prior to that, they hadn't let 30 points up all season. They only let 27 up to the Packers. They did. Okay, I'm sorry. They let up 37 to the Lions. That was not a good game. But despite all the turnovers and the craziness, they only let up 28 points to the Broncos. And as a team, they let up 48 points to the Vikings. But the defense itself did not give up 48 points. Like, the offense probably gave up 24 of those points, right? So it's wild that the defense collapsed as badly as they have so far. But I guess the encouraging part of that is if they've been this bad after being that good, maybe they could be halfway decent again. We just need them to hold teams under 30 points. That's all we need, because we've been scoring over 30 points every fucking week since the Packers game, like since after the Packers game. So like since Joe Flacco's been here, except for that one Packers game where he got here like the week before we started, we've been scoring 30 points every game. So if they can just hold teams under 30 points, we don't even need them to be great. Just be okay. And we might actually have a shot to make the playoffs, but not the way things have been going. I don't know. We'll see how they do against the Steelers. The Steelers need to win this game to, stay in control of the AFC North, because if they lose, they're 5-5, and they've got the Ravens breathing down their neck, and the Ravens got the Browns this week, obviously. So both those teams could be 5-5, and then I don't know who would be in front in the division at that point. But then you've also got the Bengals breathing down your neck at that point too, because the Bengals would be 4-6 and only a game behind the division. And then they'd have 2 games against the Ravens. So yeah, this is going to be a defining week of football for a lot of teams, and we're going to have to see exactly what happens. But one thing I can tell you about is what happened after last week, because we got Mikey coming up with power rankings. So I know that segment took me a lot longer than I normally take some of these segments, but we're going to go ahead and bring in our friend Mikey. Mikey, tell us what you think about this insane NFL season so far.
Sometimes you play football, and sometimes football plays you. So we got the power rankings. All right. Let's get started with number 10. I'm just going to hop right into it. We got the Chicago Bears, as I ain't gonna lie. For like 3.5 quarters of that game, it looked pretty scary, man. Losing to the Giants. I mean, even we beat the Giants. But man, then the last 2 minutes, Caleb Williams rallied the troops. Ben Johnson got his offense together. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, unfortunately, had a big-time sack. They played against Russell Wilson since start, got a concussion, and they fired Brian Daboll on the process. Well, technically they didn't, but they got him fired. And the Bears won. And hey, a W is a W. It doesn't matter how you can get one, as long as you can get one.
Or you can won by dropping 42 points against a fucking team and then still managing to score 47 in the stupidest flurry I've ever seen at the end of a game. I'm fucking bitter.
Yeah, I mean, hey, to be honest, I would rather lose while scoring 40 than lose while scoring 10 if we're lucky. Because at least scoring 40 at least gives you something to watch instead of just wanting to bang your head every time you watch the Saints game. But you know what? We have a bye week this week, so I'm chilling.
Saints. I wasn't talking about the Saints.
I know you weren't. I was talking.
Yeah, we're just 2 miserable football fans, aren't we? Yeah,
exactly. We make everything by ourselves. But yeah, Bears number 10. At number 9, man, we got the Buffalo Bills. And to be honest, Bills fans, you should be lucky you're still in the top 10. Why are you getting blown out by Miami? It's Miami. 30-13 to Miami. Like, bro, I understand it's a divisional game. Divisional game could go either way. But it's Miami. Like, come on, do better, Bills. Do better. Be better. Do better, be better, Buffalo.
I think I'm still pretty impressed that you don't have them at 36 again.
Oh, don't worry. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it. I was actually thinking about dropping them to 42. bring some of the teams back from the dead so I can put them over the Bills. Yeah, I mean, bring the Oilers back. They're probably the one that everybody talks about the most. Bills are number 9, though. Josh Allen turning the ball over like crazy Sunday. It's just not going to win you many football games. Yeah, you have anything to add about that?
Nothing.
All right. Number 8, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Eagles beat the Packers. But did they? Did they? Man, that game was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like I looked at that game that we call a football game, and I'm like, bro, the Eagles are dumb, but the Packers were dumber. Like, why are you snapping the ball on 4th down at the end of that game? Boy, if you don't punt that ball or kick the... Were you in field goal range? Like, brother in Christ, what are you doing, Eagles? Like, that's like the most undeserved win I've ever seen, man. But to be fair, the Packers also didn't deserve to win when you score 7 freaking points. But it's like, man, like we started the week with a 10-7 ball game, and we ended the week with a 10-7 ball game. Like, why?
I think at the end of the day, a win's a win, you know, and the Packers are theoretically a pretty good team. So there's something wrong with the Eagles offense, and everybody's talking about it. Even A.J. Brown has been all over the place talking about how bad the Eagles offense is. But that Eagles defense, oh man, like, I mean, that defense could win them the Super Bowl again by themselves. Imagine if you put the Eagles defense on the Bengals, or vice versa, put the Bengals offense on the Eagles. Like, can you imagine?
That team would go undefeated.
That team would go undefeated in like a 19-game season.
Yeah, probably. Man. Yeah, I mean, bro, their grade will go past A. Nah, you gotta give them an H for their team, bro, because that's how great they'll be.
Where would they be in the power rankings?
Yeah, bro, they'll probably be at a number that was never even created before. Like, bro, that's literally...
They would invent a new number to put them at that number.
Yeah, man, they'll bring... I don't know, they'll be... What's something that could sound like a number? I don't know, a freaking... numero, I don't know. But that's what that team would be. Eagles number 8. Whew. And number 7, a team that I was thinking about dropping a little bit, but I left them. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7. The only reason I really left them is because it's the Patriots, and I have not really watched, like, Tampa Bay. It's kind of weird. They lost to the Patriots in a game where it wasn't really that close to the end, but I just can't really justify dropping them lower than teams like the Eagles. I understand the Eagles beat Tampa, but that game was so pathetic, I couldn't. Like the Bills, the Bears, and whoever I have outside the top 10. So I just kept them at 7. I was like, you know what? That loss wasn't bad enough to warrant a drop, but also obviously they were not going up, so. Got anything to say about that? No. Number 6. Kansas City Chiefs, man. I don't remember where I had them last week, but they were on bye, so I really can't justify moving them up or down. But the last time we saw them, they was that shutout win versus the Raiders, which, if you know football, you know that's not really that impressive. I'm pretty sure a high school team could probably put up a fight against the Raiders, bro. Like the Raiders, they some sorry dookie. But Chiefs made quick work of them. So, yeah, Chiefs number 6. Number 5.
The Raiders suck. The Raiders suck.
Oh, really? Did your GED help you figure that out?
GED? I have 2 college degrees.
That. Nah. Well, you got anything else to add about the Chiefs?
Fuck the Chiefs.
Good to know. Number 5, we got the Detroit Lions, man. The Lions. Anyways, the Lions. Oh, yeah. They put belt to Washington, man. It's like, I understand Washington doesn't have Jane Daniels, and I understand Washington can never have nice things, but, man, that boy Jahmyr Gibbs was toting that thing. Like, he was running so fast. And Jared Goff, man, been having a quiet, good season. And that Lions team, their defense can be a little bit stouter, a little bit better. That team could make a run. Dan Campbell's got them guys playing hard. Dan Campbell is a guy where he was brought in, and he's rebuilt that team to being a top 5 team. Imagine telling somebody in 2008 the Lions would eventually be a top 5 football team. You would not only have that guy arrested for drugs, meth, and alcohol dose, but you would also probably have that guy killed. Like the Lions being a top 10 or top 5 team even. It's like now. But hey,
to be fair, 2008 was, first of all, before you were born. Second of all, 20 years, like almost not 20 years ago. 2008 was 17 years ago. So I think I think the Lions being good in 2025 is maybe understandable when the Lions were like didn't win a single game 17 years ago. I think maybe we can go back like I don't know, because like 10 years ago, like they had like Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't think it would have been that crazy to say that they'd be like one of the best teams in football at that point. The 2008 team is completely irrelevant to the 2025 team.
You want to make it 20 years?
What? Make what?
Okay, shut up.
No, I'm just saying, like the Pittsburgh Steelers at one time were basically what the Browns are now, right? Like they were just like the laughing stock, and nobody ever thought they'd ever be any good, and they were awful. They were catastrophically like just disgustingly bad. And then the Super Bowl era happened, and they were still bad for a little bit, but then they got it together in the 70s, which was
you're right. So what you're saying is I should have put the Steelers in the top 5. Well, I tried, but yeah. What you're saying out of your mouth is I should have put the Steelers in the top 5 instead of the Lions.
How many times do I need to fire you from this show? It's becoming an overdone joke at this point, but it's like I have nothing to say to that beyond you're fired.
So I'm Brian Daboll.
I think Brian Daboll is going to get another job with somebody else and do a great job personally.
I do too. If not, I don't think he's going to start as a head coach like immediately, but I think he's going to go back to being an OC. Then I think someone's going to hire him to be a head coach later. But yeah, Lions, I got a 5, And number 4, we got the New England Patriots, man. They made their way to the top 5, and I just couldn't really. It was either them or the Colts that were going to be number 4, but I put the Patriots at 4 because I feel like the Colts have been better for much longer, so that's why I put them at the edge over the Patriots. And the Patriots, I mean, if you look, they got a cupcake schedule the remaining of the way, so I'll be shocked if the Patriots lose more than 5 games, to be honest, from the amount of teams that they play. But yeah, Patriots are at 4. They had a pretty good nitty-gritty win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They did their thing. Drake May is not human. You cannot convince me that he is. Yeah. So do you have anything to say about the Patriots being at 4?
No.
All right. Number 3, and I just mentioned this, we got the Indianapolis Colts. Colts, man, back on track after beating the Atlanta Falcons in Germany. Appreciate you, Colts. Always will love you for that Super Bowl win and for beating Atlanta. Appreciate y'all. Love them boys. But yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones, man, I don't know what serum he's taking, but it's making him a superhuman. Like Jonathan Taylor, he's a superhuman. I mean, running for 83 yards against the trash Falcons defense. And Alec Pierce lost whoever he lost somebody into next year. But yeah, Colts, they got a pretty good overtime win, which is good for them because, getting that bad taste in their mouth after that Pittsburgh game. But yeah, game that bad taste from that Steelers game, they were able to bounce back. So yeah, go with that 3. Number 2, be 3 or 2.
Okay, I think we're having some technical difficulties with Mikey here. Something going on with his internet. But yeah, real quick. You back now? No, he's not. Okay. Real quick then. The Indianapolis Colts. I don't know why they can't just fucking go away. Because I really like them to go away. But it looks like the Indiana Jones thing is here to stay for the most part. Obviously, they've been, kind of. They've been kind of circling, not circling the drain exactly, but I mean, they Falcons. Oh, hey, we got Mikey back.
Oh yeah, we're good. Yeah.
I didn't have anything to say about the Colts.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, anyways, Colts at 3 for time being. Yeah. Number 2, we got the Los Angeles Rams. They just put up 40 points on a good 49ers team. I understand 49ers are injured all the way back, but this is the same 49ers team that beat the Rams a few weeks ago, and the Rams got their get back because karma do be karmaing. Matthew Stafford looking like an MVP candidate at the age of 75, and Devontae Adams before his injury was balling, Puka Nacua balling, Tyron Williams balling, Jared Verse and the rest of that defense balling. As much as I hate to say it, it doesn't even seem right for me to say it. I think the Rams might be in the NFC Championship game come January. Yeah! Anyways, but yeah, Rams at 2. You got anything else to say about the Rams?
You're not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong, which is why I hate it. But yeah, Rams at 2. And number 1, this is just, in my opinion, I feel like they are the clear number 1. But I could see an argument for the Rams, Colts, Patriots, and maybe even the Lions. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Seattle, and I could just end it with this. They put up 38 against Washington. I understand it's just Washington. I understand. They put up 44 against Arizona. I understand it's just Arizona. They put 44 up against my sorry football team. I understand it's just my sorry football team. But the thing is, it's not about just who they play. And even, let's look at the good team that they played. They may have lost to Tampa, but they put up 35 on them. All right? They played, 49ers in week 1. Kept it a close game. So my point is, and that was a healthy 49ers team too. So my point is, the Seahawks, they can keep it close with some good teams. They haven't played the best of the best just yet. But, I mean, I don't really think it really matters. Like, you have a schedule. You play who's on your schedule. And they're beating the teams in front of them. Like, you can't ask Seattle to go beat a team that's not on their schedule. You can't do that. And Seattle, I feel like their defense is probably elite as well. I mean, they scored 2 touchdowns on defense last week by the same dude. So, like, their defense, they were up 38-7 at halftime. Like, they were up 31-7 at halftime last week. So, like, they were up, 38-7 against my trash team at halftime. Like, Seattle's just going bonkers right now. So, yeah, that's the Rams. Kyle, you are muted.
Fuck. Seattle at number 1. Who would have thought?
I don't know.
I meant like at the beginning of the season, partially because the Seahawks don't have the best schedule in the NFL, or the best record in the NFL. So like, are we sure they're better than the Colts and the Patriots and the Broncos? They might be better than
7-2.
The Broncos are weird.
Bro, I don't even have Denver in my top 10. That's how weird they are.
Yeah, the Broncos are, I think, going to be like they're gonna get to the playoffs. They're gonna be one and done, like pretty quick.
Yeah, like depending on who they play, they might get one playoff win at the most. But like that's just depending on who they play.
I don't think so, because like I think if they win the AFC West, they might not even make the playoffs, honestly. Because if they lose,
well, they will if they win the AFC West.
Well, yeah, but if they lose to the Chiefs this week, they might lose the AFC West.
Well, I mean, maybe, but also, I don't know.
I'm just saying it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. It'd be pretty nuts if they started 8-2 and then missed the playoffs. But I wouldn't be completely and utterly shocked to see the Broncos miss the playoffs because they're just not really that inspiring of a football team, right?
What would you be more shocked of? Denver missing the playoffs from starting 8-2, or the Saints making the playoffs from starting 2-8?
I'd be way more shocked if the Saints made the playoffs. Like that would be absolutely, completely, and utterly outside of the realm of any sort of remote possibility. The Broncos, all they'd have to do is like, frankly, they'd have to lose like 5 more games of the rest of their schedule. Which I mean, like,
on the alarm. It's time to go on an 8-game winning streak, y'all. Let's go. We gotta show these people wrong again.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Saints could, I guess, feasibly make the playoffs. So the Bengals could still feasibly make the playoffs. It's not really the point. But like the Broncos would have to lose, like, you know, they got the Chiefs, but then they got the Commanders, the Raiders. They're gonna win those games. The Packers is gonna be an interesting game because those are 2 teams that are like probably really overrated. The Packers and the Broncos, like 2 really overrated teams. Then they got the Jaguars, Chiefs, and Chargers to finish things out. So I mean, like, I see 1, 2, 3. If they lose to the Chiefs, I see like 4 games of their final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Of their final 7 games, I see 4 of them. If they lose to the Chiefs, that are pretty decent chance that they're going to be losses, right? So that would put them at like that would put them at 10-6. And if they lose any one of those other games, like they lose to the Packers or they drop a turd against the Commanders or the Raiders, they could miss the playoffs.
What's a playoff?
You wouldn't know, would you?
Not since 2021 with Drew Brees in them.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
We made it.
Brees.
We made it in 22. That's more recent.
And Atlanta, last time they made it was 2018, and 2021 worse than that.
Yeah.
They so trash. I love being their father.
Saints are a pretty bad football team too, though.
Well, tell them to count the rings.
The 1 ring?
Exactly.
Okay.
1,
Not.
1, 0. What's
Well, yes,
more
it's better. Okay, so
complicated?
congratulations. You can hang your. I mean, look, I can talk about being the Browns' father. Technically, if you really want to like get down to it, because like we've been to 3 Super Bowls, they've never even been to one. You know, but like, do you see how silly that kind of sounds?
Well, that's the thing. That's how y'all look at it. That's how the Ohio people look at it. Louisiana people, we don't care if the ring happened back in 20. We don't care if the ring happened back in 1875. If we have more rings than the other opponent, I don't care.
That seems silly. But anyway,
I don't care.
Anyway, that is going to be pretty much it for this week. Unfortunately, we're not going to have niche nonsense anymore. I kind of like that segment, but the Twins decided they have other things that they want to move on to. Thank you to everything they've done for us so far, and obviously I'll still be playing their the theme song, which I didn't do, by the way. So you know, just for the hell of it, let's do it right now. There you go. There's your intro video for the show that we are now finishing. That I forgot to play earlier because this live format is weird. And yeah, but anyway, like I said, thank you to the Twins for doing some good stuff for the show for the last couple of weeks, and maybe we'll see them again in the future. I don't know. But yeah, you got anything else left to say, Mikey, for this upcoming week?
Man. I love football.
Are the Saints going to win this week?
We will beat the bye week and conquer our fears.
Like we did. We beat the bye week, kind of.
You see
I mean,
how
if the Ravens had lost, it would have been a perfect bye week for us, right? They didn't, but we still are potentially getting Joe Burrow back like a month earlier than we thought, right? And Joe Burrow does not play defense. I understand people's criticism, and it's fair. But at the same time, like, if you've got a shot, you take the shot, right? Obviously, if the Bengals lose their next 2 games, Joe Burrow's not going to be coming back. But if they beat the Steelers, I'm just saying, Now, again, like Joe Burrow doesn't play defense. Like Joe Flacco put up 42 points against the Bears, and the Bengals still fucking lost. So how much? Like, what's Joe Burrow going to do? Like, put up 60 points? Maybe. I don't think they're going to lose if they score 60 points.
No,
they might lose sometimes if they score 60 points, honestly, knowing our fucking defense. But
y'all are literally the Saints of old.
Don't say that.
No, y'all are literally the Drew Brees Saints from 2013 to 2016.
I don't want to be the Drew Brees Saints from 2013. Can we be the Drew Brees? Can we at least get one season of being the 2009 Saints, and then we can be the others? Like we can be the Saints who lose all the fucking time, and then we can like be the current Saints and only win 2 games in the first like 10 games of the season. Like that's fine. I'll take all of that if we can just like get one Super Bowl. I don't give a shit.
I mean, I'll have to ask the dealer, but maybe that's something we could arrange. But yeah. But look, it's like
Do I need to like sell my soul to Brandon Perna's curse wheel?
Yes, but Kyle, like I said when I entered the show, sometimes you play football, but sometimes football plays you.
I feel quite played by football the last month or so.
I do too. I'm still waiting for the script to say, "Oh, this was just a big joke."
Unfortunately, you're not going to get that. But what we are going to get is out of here because that's pretty much it for this week. I think collectively, me and Mikey have our teams have roughly like a 0.05% chance to get a win this week. And that's including the fact that Mikey's team does not play this week. So,
yeah, that's funny.
You need to get a job as an NFL scriptwriter. Dude, if I got it wouldn't even be fair if I got a job as an NFL scriptwriter. The Bengals would just win every week by like 50 points. And like you and me would be happy. But, that's...
If I was a scriptwriter, Saints win, Atlanta lose. That would just be the entire script.
Right, exactly. Like I mean, like the Bengals would win every game, including the games they're not playing. That's what would happen if I wrote the script.
The Saints would win the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship, and they don't even play in the AFC.
Right, like it wouldn't be a very marketable product. Like it just wouldn't be a good idea to hire either me or Mikey to be an NFL scriptwriter because, first of all, that job doesn't exist. Second of all,
that's debatable.
No, I don't think it's debatable.
It's debatable.
I understand the jokes, ha 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 ha, but it's not.
No, I mean dead serious. That is debatable.
I'm being dead serious. It's not debatable. Like I'm not saying like everything that happens in the NFL is 100% above board, and there aren't people like pulling the strings behind the scenes and stuff like that. But what I am saying is they're not scripting the games. Like this isn't the
NFC Championship game, just like they script everything else.
They didn't script that game.
Well, it was either rigged or scripted. Which one was it?
I don't think it was either. I think it was just pure incompetence.
Incompetence by the script writers.
Well, actually, if we're just talking about the script writers, that was a pretty good twist by the script writers. Like if the script writers actually existed, they did a pretty damn good job in that game.
No, they didn't.
Not for you.
Not for anybody that knows football.
I think for intrigue and talk. Because I mean, like, that was kind of a boring NFL year in general. Like, we needed something to spice it up, and having what happened that, like, I mean, that people were talking about the NFL all off season because of that.
And yeah, because screwing a team off of some bull crap is how we're going to spice it up. Why could it not be the AFC Championship that they screwed? Why did it have to be my team?
No publicity, because it was Tom Brady on the other side.
I don't care if it was Tom Brady, man Brady. I don't care which Brady it was.
Tom Brady. No publicity is bad publicity, Mikey. Especially when you're as huge as the NFL. If people are talking about your league, that's good. Whether it's good or bad, like whether they're saying good things or bad things, if people are talking about it, they're going to watch.
I hate these script writers so much.
Take it up with Tom Grassi.
What's Tom Grassi? Oh, I hear it now. Well, tell Tom Grassi to do something else with the script writing. I don't know.
Well, anyway, we're going to get out of here. So I'll leave y'all, as always,